Hey guys, welcome to the videos where I ask myself, would I rather experience this or that? I go through my reasonings why I pick what I pick. Sometimes it's both, sometimes it's neither, but I always let you know my thought processes and why I make the decision that I make when I am comparing two topics that are within domestic discipline and which one I would rather experience or have be part of my relationship. And I invite you in the comments to let me know which one would you pick and why. I always enjoy reading those. So on today's video, I am going to be comparing, would I rather experience a spanking over the knee or over a piece of furniture? I think that it's very common for couples to have more than one spanking position as their go-to. However, Coda's kind of a creature of habit. He likes to create a standard of what's expected and what he's going to do. And so we have used over the knee and we've used bent over a piece of furniture. And when we were using over the knee, it was always over the knee. When we moved into being bent over a piece of furniture, now it's always bent over a piece of furniture. He doesn't typically use multiple positions or switch it up very often. And so I can appreciate that because I always know what to expect. I know it's expected of me, and there is that standard, and that really works in our relationship. But all that to say, I have experienced spankings in both of these particular positions, and I would say that as the taken in hand, I do like being spanked over the knee for a few reasons. First, I like the concept of being held. When I was being spanked over the knee, Coda was able to hold on to me easier. He was able to hold me in position. And I kind of really just liked the feeling of being held while being spanked. Now, when I was being spanked over the knee, my spankings were not nearly as intense as they are now. And when we decided to increase the intensity for the logistics of that to happen, we had to switch positions because being spanked over the knee is harder to deliver a more intense spanking for the head of household, at least for Coda and a few of other head of households that I know have always also made the decision not to use the over the knee position. And so now my spankings are always bent over a piece of furniture, and that's just because that makes it easier, more effective, and more comfortable for Coda to deliver a intense spanking. And I wouldn't want my spankings to be less intense because when they were less intense, they were less effective. It was affecting the closeness and the bond of our relationship. It was affecting our growth and our goals. And so I wouldn't want my spankings to be less intense. And Coda has found a way to help kind of guide me through staying in position. He always keeps a hand on me. So it's not all drawback to not being over the knee. I would just kind of, if I had to pick between the two, I would rather be over the knee, but I wouldn't want my spankings to be different than they are now because they're more effective now. They're driving growth now. And, I wouldn't want to see a decrease in that aspect. And so for that, I guess for that reason, bent over a piece of furniture does make sense. I wouldn't like, I guess I'm picking both because I'm like, I would rather have the spankings I have now, but over the knee, but that's logistically impossible, at least for us. And so I do see the benefits of being over the knee. I do see the benefits of the connection, but I also see the benefits of the growth and connection of being bent over. Being bent over requires me to hold myself in position more so than being over the knee. When I was over the knee, it was very easy for Coda to very much facilitate holding me in position. And while I did like that and that was very comforting to me, I think that when I'm bent over, it requires a like a deeper level of submission for me to hold myself in position. And there's so much value in that display of submission and keeping myself where I'm supposed to be. And so I guess both. I thought I had an answer that was going to be definitive one way or another, but I do see the benefits of both. And the fact of the matter is that it is standard in my relationship now that I am bent over to receive a spanking, and there is a lot of value that we get from that process, and that's not changing regardless of, my opinion on the matter. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know which would you rather do and or experience, and let me know why. I always enjoy reading those. Like this video, subscribe if you're not already. Check out membership options if you are interested, and we will talk to you next time.